Hi, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. I am Frankie George McCullough, and the topics we have in these podcasts are intuition, self fulfillment, and trusting yourself. You'll see that I will be perfectly frank, and please subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. It's a beautiful day here. The sun was shining. It was just wonderful to enjoy. And today I wanted to talk about my book, which we have just completed the audio portion of the book. It will be downloaded onto Amazon in the next couple of weeks. And I'm happy to say I listened to it so many times I can recite it verbatim now, which is really nice. Of course, I like the book because I wrote the book, but I picked up something repeatedly in the book that I thought would be valuable for everyone to possibly hear. And what I often say to people, the thing you will hear me repeat in every podcast, is that we need each other, and we will always need each other. And sometimes when, even myself, when I'm in a funk, I want to go and put my head in the sand. I want to say, don't talk to me. I don't know you. You don't know me. I just want to hide, and that can be okay. What's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that until you're ready to talk to somebody. And then I would just offer you the thought that unloading to someone you feel safe with, and that can be a perfect stranger, or to a good friend or a family member, is very cathartic and can be very helpful for you to release whatever was waiting on you. The weight of things is pretty intense. And if you would also consider observing your posture, because when your posture is folded in, the strength, in physicalness, the oxygen is being taken from your brain because you're blocking it, and blood flow is stopping and nerve flow. But when you sit up, everything about you looks better. You look brighter, you look fuller, you have more oxygen, you can calm down easier. And so the thing that really struck me in the book was the understanding that we have the power. We are powerful in ourselves. And when someone does something that we are unfamiliar with, or that triggers us, or that we would like to see something different done, we can change something in ourselves. And in that change in our behavior that happens in ourselves, we can then create create the experience for someone else to no longer behave in the way that we didn't like. And in that sense, you can change that other person. So an example, I'm going to give you several different ideas, because I know often if it's not related to you, you can't always grasp it. So one of the ways would be in some of the people that I coach, that their partner is often late, makes plans, and they're late. And they are by nature people that just run late. It's just who they are. It doesn't make them right or wrong, good or bad. It just means that they're late. It's a fact. It's okay, not a big deal, except for you are an on-time person and it bothers you. And so it's been going on for several years. They always show up late. You always get mad. You don't like waiting. And you have to recognize you play a role in your own feelings. And in that space of the role that you play, it can often be that you were just there, or that you want to please them, or that you're trying to accept their behavior, although you find that over time it gets worse and worse and worse for you. And I would offer you this thought, that you can change something in your own behavior. And it would look like this. Your mate would call you and say, let's go to dinner at 7. Your experience in the past has been 7 means 8, 8:30. So you might either know that and do something until 8 or 8:30, because why would you expect them to be there when they have already shown you that they're not there until 8 or 8:30? So you have several options. You can finish doing what you're doing around the house, complete things, go have a drink with a friend, go do whatever. And when your partner calls you or shows up at home, if you're home and you're not ready, you can say, oh, well, you know what? Shoot, what time is it? It's 8:30. Oh, you told me you were coming at 7, but my experience has been that you're always late, so I got caught up in something else. Give me 10 minutes. I'll go get ready. Or you're not home and your partner calls you and says, hey, where are you? I thought we were going out to dinner. And you can simply say, oh, yeah, you know what? I decided to meet Betty for a drink. If you would like to join us, you're welcome to, but I didn't want to wait for you any longer, so I chose to go do something until you came. But why don't you come and join us, and then we can go out to dinner? Your partner's response might be irritated. It might be anger. It might be, frustration, because they're not familiar with the fact that you didn't wait for them. They're more familiar with you not waiting, with you waiting for them and getting frustrated, than they are with you doing something else. And so they're not sure how to behave. So what they do is they get a little upset, right? I mean, naturally, we do the same thing. Although you protected your own feelings because you chose not to get mad at them, but you chose to take action for the time you're familiar that that person is always late. Now, the next time that your partner or mate does this, you could do the same thing. Make plans. And your partner might say to you, well, are you going to be home? And you can say, well, no, because my experience with you is that you tell me one time, but you don't show up until another. And I personally don't like waiting. So I'm going to make some other plans, and if you show up on time, call me and I'll meet you. And that partner might get really upset and mad. And you can simply say, listen, I get that you're late. That's who you are. I'm not going to change you. And by the way, that person is late with everyone, not just you. They're just a late person. And it's just as annoying to be an on-time person or an early person as it is to be a late person. And what's consistent with all three of those things is they're just facts. The fact about me is I am an early on-time person. The fact about some of my friends is they're annoyingly early. The other fact about some of my friends is that they're naturally late. It's just the way they go. It doesn't make them wrong or right. It just means that's how they operate. And I can accept that my friends operate that way. I can accept it because I know that they operate that way, and rather than trying to change them, which I have no power over, I change something in my behavior. For me, the change might be, oh, they're going to be here early. I'm just going to go about my business, let them sit in the car. It's fine. I know it's a little frustrating for me, it gets annoying, but you know what? I'm not ready yet, right? Or they may say, can I come in early? And I can comfortably say, no, you know what? I just want to finish cleaning all this up. Or they might say, well, I'll come help you. Well, okay, then come on, help me. I like that. And the people that are late, I know that about them. And so in my work, I allow them to be late and only take part in that time that's left for their appointment and still charge them the full price for that time because I didn't create that space. They did. And in my personal life, if you're always late, I'm going to make plans to do something else because my experience with you is that same thing, that you are always late. I don't like waiting. So I'm going to make sure that either I'm busy or I'm going to do something before the time that I know you always show up. And maybe I won't even have dinner with you because I'm enjoying myself so much with someplace else. Another place this shows up is going to a doctor's appointment. You know, doctors have a tendency to be late or early, most of them late. And my time is valuable. So I will always ask when I make the appointment, does the doctor run on time? And most of the time, the reception area will say yes. And I'll say, please understand, I also have a business and I don't want to get upset if the doctor runs late. Can you tell me the best time to make the appointment? Because I don't need it today or tomorrow. I can schedule it out a little bit later, the best time to make the appointment, so I won't have to wait too long, so I can schedule my day. And also, could you tell me about how long my appointment will be? That way, I don't get frustrated because I don't like waiting. I'm okay if I know I have a 3 hour window. But if I have to wait into a 4 hour window, I'm going to leave. I get that your time is valuable, so is mine. My time deserves to be respected as much as your time does because I'm as valuable as that doctor is. So that's another way I might change something in my behavior because I have the power only to change something in my behavior. Does that mean the other person will change? Does that mean that they'll react? Possibly, possibly not. The good news is I feel good about me. I don't have to wait, right? And when you can observe that it's that person's behavior, and generally it runs across the board. I'm on time for everybody. You know, if I'm late, I'm going to text you or call you and say, hey, I'm running late, right? I'm doing that because I feel good about myself when I run on time. People that are late feel good about themselves too. They're okay with it. It's just the way they roll. It's neither good nor bad. But people that are involved with either us types, the ones that are early, the ones that are on time, the ones that are late, get to know that and that character and then find a way for you to operate with that so you don't get upset. You see, the only person we really have power over is ourselves. We can affect a change in another human being by not allowing that person to put us in a situation or allow ourselves to be put in a situation where we have to accommodate them and be uncomfortable. We first have to observe, I don't like that. They're not doing it to me. They're not doing it because of me. They're doing it just because that's the way they operate. I can't change that other person, but I can change me, right?
Now, here's an amazing sponsor. Veterans Van Lines Moving Service, helping veterans get into the moving business. 248-889-8888. VeteransVanlines.com. They'll show you how to get it done. Did you know that Alline Salon Group is hiring stylists in Michigan? Candidates can receive up to $800 a year as part of their Student Loan Repayment Program. For more information, go to AllineSalonGroup.com. That's ALLINE salongroup.com.
My husband thinks I'm tall, at least taller than I am. And so he always puts things up very high that I have to get help to reach them or use a ladder. I could get mad at him all the time. I do. Actually makes me nuts. I shake my head. Such as my book, The Man He's Stupid. I go, ugh, how many times do I have to tell him? If I'm going to tell him, it's going to have to be forever, or I'm going to have to keep a step stool at hand because the chances are he's going to put it someplace that's too high for me to reach and I'm going to need help. Or we now have those grabbers, which is really kind of cool. So this doesn't just happen with being late or on time. It happens with the way a person's cleanliness is. Some people like everything in its perfect spot. Well, when you live in a home with several people, you either have to train them or you have to allow them or you have to accommodate them. And so if you have someone that you repeatedly tell them, please don't put it here, right in the middle of the kitchen floor, and they come in every day and they keep putting it there, it's because they're familiar with it. It's not because they're trying to bring you harm or make you mad. It's because they're familiar. So you have several options. You have the option to leave it there, walk up to him, say, could you please come back now? Pick up the jacket and put it someplace else. You have the option of repeating daily when they walk in the house, going to them and say, listen, this hook right here is for you specifically. No one's going to put anything on it. The minute you walk in the door, you can hang your coat there, or you can let them leave it on the floor and walk all over it. Now, those are just several ways. Those are just my ideas. Everybody has different ideas on doing that. Here's the thing that happens when you don't change something in your own behavior to stop you from getting upset from what another person does. What happens is resentment builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds. In some cases, yeah, you have to let that person go because you can't find a way to change something in yourself, in your behavior, not in who you are, not in your personality, just in the way you do things. It requires work. It requires actions. Yes, women are more open to do it than men, but the person that wins is the person that changes something in their own behavior. And the reason they win is because they no longer get irritated or upset by what another person does. You have power. It's so cool. We have power. It is a gift given unto us. It is free will and choice. It is creation in its simplest form. Once you learn to change your behavior in your everyday life, in the way people treat you, and sometimes it means just leaving the room and getting out of the way instead of standing there and accepting someone's yelling or upsetness, or sometimes it means running up to them and giving them a hug. Either way, you're protecting you, and you need to know the most important person in your life is you. And here's the real wonderful thing about that. You are connected to everyone. So when you consider yourself first, you consider every human being, because then you're kinder. You can say no calmly. You don't have attitude, which, by the way, I have a lot of attitude and I have a lot of tone. I know that about me. Is it going to change overnight? No. Do I have to change it in every situation? Yes. Do I choose to? Yes, because it's just a behavior. And I can catch myself now in midstream and go, oh, wait, hold on. And I can just repeat again, you know what, could you please pick up those clothes that I put in the basket for you to take downstairs? Instead of going, okay, that's it, I'm done. You do this every day. It makes me nuts. What I'm trying to do is give you some examples. I hope I'm effective in doing that, in creating that space. So in the book, The Man He's Stupid and the Girl She's So Bitch, I do not mean that the man he's stupid. The title of this book came from my mother. My mother was Chaldean. I am Chaldean, so she passed away. And in her accent, she wanted me to understand. She said, Francis, the man, he's stupid. And I said, Mom, what do you mean? She goes, you know, he's going to come home. You're going to be busy. You got the baby in your hand, the other baby here wiping poop on the wall, and you break the jar. And your husband, he come home and go, hi, honey. And you think, can't you see I break the jar? So you say to him, honey, stop, I break the jar. She said, Francis, when you have the tune in your voice, inside the man, his brain is go dead, and he think, what did I did? I just walk in the house. Why she be so bitch? When we refer to the man as stupid, we're referring to the fact that men, all of us actually, respond better to calmness than to tone. But men cannot read our minds like a woman might be able to read our minds unless the man is really empathic. Most of the time, he cannot read your mind. And so he's thinking, I just walked in the house. What did I do? She said, Francis, the man, he can't see nothing. He can't see the breaking jar. He can't see you on the floor. He can't see the other baby. Unless you say to the husband, honey, I break the jar. The other baby here running, putting poop on the wall. Can you stop, help me? He's going to come like a dog, she said. He's going to come to you and he's going to do everything you ask of him. She was trying to express to me that men are very linear. They're a straight line. They operate from a very straight line. If the file in their brain is out, they can then operate that. But you have to bring it to their attention first for that file to come out. Women are very different. They are like a globe. They have the baby. They have dinner. They have their appearance. They have their husband. They have their friends. They have what other people think. They have, clothing. Their stuff is dirty and they're exhausted. They often have tone. And they may even be a little sad. And they may even feel like they don't have time for themselves. That's why women often have tone. The fact is, from either mate, male or female, okay, from either and your partner, the dominant or the passive one, none of us like tone, as I'm screaming at you here on the podcast. Nobody likes tone. It does not feel good to anyone. In the book, I help you understand the role you play in your own life. I help you understand what does it look like to be good to yourself? What would it mean to be good to myself? It would mean when Betty says, hey, listen, I'm going to be moving and I really need some help. You, a woman like me who likes to please, would immediately jump in and say, sure, I'll help you. And then the day it comes to help, I'm like, shoot, why did I say that? I hardly have any time. I don't know why I said yes. Then I feel bad. Then I go to their house. I help them and I have attitude. Nobody wins. If I could have stopped and said, I might know some people that can help you, although I'm not ready to commit to helping you because my life has been a little crazy, I can let you know on that day or closer to that day. And if I can come help you, I'll just come over and help. And my friend might say, but I need to know now. I understand that I'm not the person that can help you. Let me think with you who might be able to, right? And then you can then banter with that person on who might be able to help them. There are a million different ways that we can get out of our own way. The other thing that I speak of in the book, The Man, He's Stupid, and the Girl, She's So Bitch, is we have to help our friends be better friends with us. Because if I call up a friend and I'm having an issue with my husband, my friend might say, he's such an asshole. He does this all the time. And what my friend is really saying is that I am the asshole. Instead of my friend saying, hey, you know what? He's such a good guy. Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe you should maybe it's you. Are you okay? Is everything okay in your life? Instead of supporting you, they go with you in that bad tone. And they only make it worse. And we have to help our friends help us get out of that ring of fire, that tone, instead of putting us more into it, instead of agreeing with us. I'm calling you to unload. I'm calling you to listen to me. I'm not calling you to agree with me or disagree for that matter. I'm looking for your support on the wonderful person I am and how you can help me calm down. How you can pull me from the ugly feeling I'm feeling by maybe saying, are you done now? Yes. Yeah, I'm done. Thanks. He's such a good guy. You have to realize he's done this before. I don't think he's doing it to you. I think it's just what he does. What can you do differently? Can you do something differently? Because you only have power over you. You can't change that person's behavior except by changing your own behavior. Because if he yells at me and I walk out of the room, he's going to have to follow me to yell at me. And I can turn back and say, hey, babe, I understand you're upset and I want to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you when you're calming down. When you're done with that anger, I'm excited to talk to you. But I don't want to talk to you with you yelling at me. That doesn't feel good. And I'm sure it doesn't feel good to you either. So I'm going to go in the room and I'm going to lock myself in, right? And unless you have a volatile person in your life, that person will either turn the other way but they won't hurt you unless they're volatile. And you should know that. You should know if they're volatile or not, I hope. And if you don't, then be careful, right? There are many ways to change your own behavior, and in that space, you have power. In that space, you have the power. Also in posture. And this, okay, all right, as compared to, hey, okay, all right, you change everything about you with your physical posture, with standing up, with like being tall for yourself. Those that know me know that I'm only 4'10" and a half. I lie a little. Okay, I'm probably only 4'10". Maybe I'll start saying I'm 4'11". Anyways, so I just wanted to give you some insight into this book because we're going to start really marketing the book since we now have it done in audio. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it through IamPerfectlyFrank.com, our website. I am excited to really start getting this information out. I hope it is of value to many people I know in my experience with coaching and with the people that coach along with me. It feels great to help people get out of their own way and get into a space where they are in a more conscious awareness of being in that space, because life is going to happen. Life happens. That's what we're here for. One more thought before I leave you. And that thought is, and I'd like to help people understand this, you were born with all the information you're ever going to have. Maybe life is not a lesson. I do not believe life is a lesson. I believe life is an experience. And you awaken to what you already know as you do these things called life. And you have the power to create. It is a gift that has been given to you from your birthright. It is a gift that is given to you. And once you understand how to do that, you'll be stunned. You can create better health. You can get out of, so many people have had the privilege of having these doctors tell them that end of life was near, and end of life is not for 30 years later, 40, 50, 60. They did not have to walk that path alone because they used the power of their mind and creation, creating well-being and health to get out of it. You can do it with your career. You can do it with relationship. You can do it with just about everything. Soon we'll be having some classes. I look forward to you participating in those. In the meantime, thank you for joining me today on the I Am Perfectly Frank podcast. Please go ahead and view the website, which is IamPerfectlyFrank.com. If you have any questions, I'd love to have you reach out to me at Frankie@IamPerfectlyFrank.com, or just reach out to me through social media. Thank you. Have a great night and enjoy this day.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us today on this podcast. By the way, at the I Am Perfectly Frank website, you can find information about all the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. We treat pain patterns. We are coaches. We do intuitive work. We also do massage. We also help you understand what your pain is telling you so that you don't have it anymore. Anyways, again, check out the IamPerfectlyFrank.com website, and thank you for joining us today.